Let's now look at how to invoice fixed price project contracts in Dynamics AX. Fixed price contracts can be invoiced based on lump sum amounts, milestones, progress, or units delivered. Let's look at how these can be set up in AX. For a conventional fixed price project, a milestone-based schedule is normally used. I have a project contract here where I have 3 billing rules so that I can show you how to invoice all 3 variants of fixed priced invoicing schedules. The first one here, the billing rule here says I have milestone billing rule, and it is for the design phase of the project. And I have 2 milestones. I have dev design and UI design, and each of them has a certain value associated. And then I have a progress-based invoicing schedule on the same contract. And on this one, this is for the development phase of the project, and I have it for a contract value of $15,000. And then I have a third billing rule on the same contract. Let's look at what that is for. That is a training, that is for training sessions, and I am to deliver 3 training sessions at a price of $1,500 each. So that has a total contract value of $4,500. Now let's look at how we can invoice for such a project contract. It has a fixed price project associated to it, and all 3 billing schedules of milestone, progress, and unit of delivery all 3 are associated to that fixed price project. But then the billing has different schedules. And as you have seen, the design phase is built based on 2 milestones, and the development phase is going to be built based on progress, and the training sessions are going to be built based on unit of delivery. As the project progresses, let's navigate to the project. As the project progresses, there will be actual time and expenses logged on the project. Let's emulate that and log some transactions on this project. Some 10 hours of PM, some 10 hours of 20 hours of apprentice, and let's log some consulting hours. 50 hours of consulting, and let's post these transactions. So the transactions have been posted. Now let's try to create an invoice proposal for this contract. Since it is an entirely a fixed price contract, fixed price contracts by their very nature do not invoice for any timesheets, expenses, or any kind of materials consumed. Fixed price project contracts are always invoiced for a lump sum amount based on the schedule you have defined for invoicing. Even though time has been logged, we really didn't record the progress of anything here. So let's go and see how we can record the progress of this contract so that we can have a credible invoice generated. Right now, if I try to generate the invoice, I can only generate it for these billing rules, but then the invoice amount comes up as 0 because none of these billing rules have had any status marked on them. Even though time and expenses have been logged, I have not yet marked the progress on any of these billing line items. So let's go see how we can log progress on this contract. So the first phase is the design phase, and I have 2 milestones. In order for me to be able to invoice this design phase, I need to mark at least one of the milestones as being done. So let's mark the dev design milestone as being done. And then if I made some progress with development, I can mark the development phase as based on progress. If I'm 10% done, the phase is for $15,000. If I'm 10% done, I'm expecting that the invoice generated will be 10% of $15,000. And on the training sessions, I have not yet delivered any training sessions, so I'm not going to update any units delivered here. I'm going to leave them as 0. So now that we have the progress recorded on this contract, if we now try to create an invoice proposal, we can see that we have 3 lines. The first line the design phase, which is based on milestones, is going to be built for the dev design that I have marked as being done. The second line, which is based on progress, it has $15,000 value, and I'm going to generate an invoice of $1,500 because I said I was 10% done. On the unit of delivery one, I have not delivered any units of training sessions yet, so it is not going to bill anything. And let's create this invoice proposal and look at it. So as you can see, I have the milestone that I have completed on design, and I can also see progress, and that is the invoice. If time progresses, let's close this invoice proposal, go back to our project contract, and as time progresses, let's say I have now delivered some training sessions. I'll go ahead and mark that I have delivered one training session. And on development, and on the design phase, let's say I'm going to mark the UI design as being complete. Let's close it out. Let me go to the invoice proposals. I have one invoice proposal open. I'll go ahead and post that invoice proposal. While an invoice proposal is pending for progress-based billing, that I cannot log any more progress percentage against that billing rule. So let's go back now to the project contracts. And let's go to our Manage Contract Status form on the Maintain tab. And now if we select our progress, I can now log some more percentage, and it tells me that it has already invoiced 10%. Now let's say I want to invoice 50% of this. Let's close it out, and now we'll create our invoice proposal. As you can see, I have the other milestone ready for billing, and I have also 50% of my progress has been made available for billing, and since I delivered one training session, I can see that amount show up here as well. So that in a sense concludes the fixed price invoicing and how you can set up your invoicing based on the schedule you have negotiated with the customer. Let's review some of the concepts we have. Milestone billing. As a first step, you create the milestones during contract creation and setup, and during the course of the project, you will mark the milestone that you have finished as being done, and you will be able to bill that milestone. In the case of progress billing schedule, you will create a lump sum contract line for the total amount on the contract, and then you keep updating the percentage done as you make progress towards the delivery. And based on that percentage, your invoice amount will be calculated. Unit of delivery billing. Again, you'll create a lump sum contract value, but it will be a function of the number of units and the price per unit. And then as the project progresses, you will update on your contract status form as to how many units have been delivered, and this will be used to generate the invoice. One detail is that all of this is managed as on-account transactions. The lump sum contract value or the milestone values, they are all tracked in Dynamics AX on the project as on-account transactions. So on-account transactions have two purposes. One, it is used to hold the contract value that is to be invoiced, and it is also used by the revenue recognition engine to know the contract value of the engagement.